We are so excited to be partnering with Walmart's Black and Unlimited on these very special episodes as we head into Black History Month. Street You Grew Up On is a special place where we come together to unfold our common humanity and reaffirm that every person is the lead character in the story of their own lives. And it all starts on the street they grew up on, the homes, the communities, the worlds. Walmart's Black and Unlimited platform is all about supercharging the unlimited potential of Black people and our communities, not only for Black History Month, but every day. I'm so excited for you to hear from some of our guests, Black artists and entrepreneurs and creators, about the communities that supercharged them into being the inspirations that they are today. So here we go.
Like, it was kind of really funny. Like, we'd be singing at our uncle's events. We'd be singing even at clubs in our sundresses. Like, It was a hot mess.
It was embarrassing.
But it was the foundation for where we are and who we are right now as young women.
Okay, so today on Street You Grew Up On, we have the honor and delight of speaking with an incredible duo who originates from Georgia, just outside the ATL. They are just so inspiring and so delightful, like absolute rays of sunshine. I want to welcome 5-time Grammy-nominated sister duo, Chloe and Halle. So tell me about the street that you grew up on. What state, what city, what was the name of the street?
Yes, well, it was Rosie Lane. And
what a cute name.
Right, Rosie Lane. And I remember growing up in that house and just loving it because we were in a neighborhood with all of our friends. And there was a community pool that we would go to all of the time. And there was a little park with sand right next to it. And it was like so close, like walking distance. And we had the best memories in that home.
We had so many memories on Rosie Lane. And it was in Mapleton, Georgia, which is because we grew up in Atlanta. And I think those were kind of the years where we established ourselves and we got to know who we were.
It's so funny. You're both so young and gorgeous and brilliant. And I wonder, when you think about Rosie Lane, what do you think it gave you that was so unique? And when you say it's how we established ourselves, like, what did you learn at Rosie Lane that feels like it's fundamental to who you are?
I think it gave us the freedom to be confident in who we were. And I remember when we were little girls, our locks were this short to here. And we just felt it was normal. We didn't think anything was like out of the ordinary. And there at that home and even at school, we just learned to be confident and enjoy the skin that we were in. And even all the way from the tip of our head all the way down to our toes. And we even had like the basketball court back there.
Yeah, we had our playroom all decked out.
Yes, and we used to love Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah.
And at Home Depot, they had like these little flyers where it's like, oh, you can recreate your room to look like this, to look like that. And our parents took the Lizzie McGuire one because we loved Lizzie and Hilary Duff. And they decked it out. We had like puff balls on the wall and like multicolored pinks and purples and greens,
beaded curtains.
So that was like our home and sanctuary and our calm and quiet place. And I remember even when we had the small little camcorders and we'd be making little films down there in that room. And we just wanted to take our imagination to the next level, and we had the complete freedom and permission to do that at that home.
Did you guys share a room on Rosie Lane, or did you have separate rooms?
We did. We sure did. We shared
bunk beds.
Tell me about that room? Bunk beds. Yeah. Who slept on the top? Who slept on the bottom?
Top, right by the light. It was like this close to my head, and every time we get ready for school, it'd be right in my face, and I was so sad about it.
I would always want to just climb those ladder steps because I was like, wow, that must be so fun to be on the top bunk. But
meanwhile, I'm thinking the other thing. So it's like we both thought the grass was greener on the other side.
Yeah. Of course, right? Wow. It sounds like a place where your imagination, your creativity was really encouraged. Like you were really encouraged to be free spirits and build and play. I love that you talked about the locks. I want to talk about that. So do you think that you said you had these little locks, which I can't wait to see pictures. I know you guys were so cute. But did you feel like do you think you didn't feel othered because there were other kids that had locks, or just because you felt like who we are is beautiful, even if it's different from the people around us? So were you around a lot of people that looked like you, and that's where the confidence came from, or it didn't matter that not a lot of people looked like you?
So what's so amazing and funny about this is we kind of got the best of both worlds, because for the
Mm.
first half of our lives when we were living in Atlanta, in Mapleton, Georgia, particularly, um, we were around everyone who looked just like us,
Mm.
and everyone, they had their own kind of swag and style. The hairstyles were out of this world amazing. There was a lot of Nubian knots. There was a lot of locks. There was
Mm.
a lot of fros. It was everywhere. And
Mhm.
that was when we were going to shout out to Harmony Leland Elementary School. That was when
Hey.
we were there. And then later on, we actually moved to Dunwoody because our parents, they built their dream house in Dunwoody, which was different. It was the opposite, where we did not see a lot of people with our skin tones, where we were kind of I think I was the only black girl in my class. And so what I really appreciated about kind of living both sides is that I saw myself in one area and I realized that I am beautiful and black is beautiful in every single way. And then going somewhere where I didn't see myself, because I had that beginning start of knowing that it is so
Mm.
beautiful, I felt confident in myself and I was okay with it.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that's what kind of helped me thrive. So yeah, it was funny thinking about it, like the journey.
It's really beautiful because it's like you were gifted with self-confidence that you were able to see the beauty in other people without it taking away from your own sense of self, right? You could like venture out into the world and still know that you're gorgeous while seeing other cultures and interacting with other people. I
Yeah.
really love that. I
Yes.
love that. I have to say, I was so excited when I heard that Neutrogena was bringing you both on to join our family, because you really do walk in the world with that sense of valuing natural beauty, the beauty that you're just born with, and using products that help you bring your best real self forward, right? Like
Yeah.
not feeling like you have to transform into somebody else in order to be beautiful. So just
Yes.
shout out to you all, shout out to your parents. I feel like I'm learning gems to be able to gift to my littles. I'm so happy to be working in this beauty landscape with you, because I think you are such powerful role models and examples. It's really great. Did you talk about sort of the definitions of beauty in your home? How did your family talk about beauty?
Yes. Well, I remember our dad would always call us pretty, and we would always
He's
say
not lying. He is not lying.
thank you. Thank you. And we were taught to just really appreciate being Black girls, growing
Mm,
into Black women. And,
yes.
I give all the credit to our mom and our Nana and our grandmother Elizabeth, because we were seeing these incredible examples at such a young age of what it looks like to be a strong, fearless Black woman. And
Mm,
that was the definition of beauty, about what was inside and your character. So, we were taught to be confident and keep our head held high and to look people in the eye when we speak to them, because that's the
mm,
main part of beauty, having that confidence and being able to just walk into a room and let your bright light shine. So that's kind
mm,
of how we were taught about beauty. And of course, in the exterior, when I was around like 10 years old, I was like battling with myself and what I truly thought the exterior of beauty was supposed to be. But I
mm,
think because we were grounded in morals and having a good heart, and that being the beautiful side of us, that was what we were focused on the most.
that inner beauty.
Yeah.
Everyday actions can make everything change. Visit walmart.com/black and unlimited to learn more. So when you were little, what were your roles in the house, right? Because I know, Chloe, are you the oldest?
Yes.
And Halle, you do have the experience of being an older sister and a younger sister, right?
Yes. Yep.
So tell me, who was in the house when you were growing up?
Yes, so it was me, my sister, my older sister Sky. She's 7 years older than me, so she's 30 right now. And then this was before our little baby brother even came into the picture. He came into the picture maybe when we were at that first house in Atlanta for one more year, and then that's when we moved. But it was us and our mother and our father, and we were all in that home, and we just made it work.
I'm so amazed at how kind you are to each other. Is that something that started from the very beginning? Did you guys used to rough and tumble fight with each other back
Oh,
on
yeah.
Rosie
Yes.
Lane?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
When we were at Rosie Lane, yes, but also when we were teenagers, we would like always pick at the other and tease the other. And it was really funny to like look back at home videos and see how our personalities were,
We're
and then
like-
see how the roles reversed or how they switched. And like even when I was younger, I was the more bossy one. I felt like I was in control and in command. And like even as we got older, it's kind of switched. And it's really fun. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's really fun to see how our relationship as sisters has evolved from when we were young girls. And I'm so grateful for Halle because I couldn't have, gone through life without her the way that we have. And she's truly my partner in crime. And I'm just so, so grateful.
Okay, so when did performing start? Like, when did you start realizing that you wanted to have a life in music?
I think the story Mom tells is that when Mom was cleaning the kitchen one time, she heard Chloe just like sing Mary, was it Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Mhm.
And she's like, Mary had a little lamb, and like was vibrato in her voice. And Mom like looked and was like, what? And so I think from that moment, that was when Mom knew that Chloe could really sing. And then shortly after that,
You came into the world.
yeah, I came
Mhm.
into the world, and then next thing you know, we're just singing together, and because I was like,
Just
yeah,
by on your own, just on your own, you would sing together.
yes. And the amazing thing was, our parents, they had always had such amazing music playing in the house, whether it was Tina Turner or Alicia Keys, or they just had amazing R&B soul music always on. Jill Scott,
Yeah.
Robin Thicke. And we kind of grew up on these amazing songs that we couldn't help but sing along with. So then we went to the Spelman summer camp one year, and there was a talent show that year, and we decided to sign up. And that was our first performance together, where we sang "Summertime" by Nina Simone.
Ah,
And
ah.
because Chloe was 7 years old and I was 5, and Mom dressed us in the
Oh
exact
my
same
goodness.
outfits. And, that was our first performance together, where we realized, like, oh, this is actually really fun singing together. Like, maybe we should continue doing this. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed.
Wow. Where did you practice in your home, in that street, that first street? Where did you sing in the house?
Where we would sing and rehearse and practice, it would be down in the basement. And I remember like we would just be practicing and practicing. And that is like really funny to think about.
Yeah.
Like everything happened there. And even when we moved into our second home in Georgia, we were practicing and rehearsing in the basement even before it got renovated. And, it was still kind of empty. That's where we were practicing. And where it was still really echoey, that's where we did our first YouTube cover. So it's really funny how it's always like in the basement.
What was that first basement like? What was it like? Do you remember what it was like down there?
Yeah, the basement at Rosie Lane, it was pretty decked out.
It was cool.
Had a
because-
movie theater.
Yeah, a
mini.
miniature movie theater. Like, and
Yeah.
there was like this little stage that our dad had built.
Yeah.
And we would go down there on movie nights. It was like a projector and then like a little tiny stage like this high. And we would go up there and we would sing and fake perform to the audience, and Mom and Dad would be clapping.
Would it be for lots of cousins too? Did you perform for extended family?
Oh yeah, we performed any and everywhere. Like it was kind of really funny. Like we'd be singing at our uncle's events. We'd be singing even at clubs in our sundresses. Like it was a hot mess.
It was embarrassing.
But it was the foundation for where we are and who we are right now as young women. So we're grateful for every moment.
And I know how much you love working together and the music you make together is so phenomenal. But you're also starting to branch out and do some work on your own, right? That Chloe, your new single, Have Mercy, obsessed,
Baby.
obsessed. And that also you're doing the Little Mermaid, Halle, that playing Ariel. So what is it like to now kind of take on projects separately?
For me in particular, when I finished or when I started filming for The Little Mermaid, it was very different for me because I'm so used to Chloe always being right by my side, and I'm the little
Mm-hmm.
sister, so I kind of have a bit of separation anxiety, especially at the beginning of the film. I was like, "Oh my god, where's my sister? Where's my sister? I have to do this big thing." And it's a lot of emotions and anxiety and self-doubt that plays into your psyche. Um, and I just kind of I had to pray a lot. I did a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, and then a lot of calling my sister. So that was definitely, especially being as the little sister, it was like something that I had to kind of talk to myself and say, okay, you can do this. You can do this. You have the strength within. So that was kind of just my mantra.
On the other side, while I was in LA, it was so weird for me because we do everything together. And yes, I'm the older sister, but a lot of times the way our relationship is, you would think I'm the younger one. And I just am so clingy and I love being with Halle. And it was very odd. And it was like really hard to get used to and very scary. And, Halle was almost out there for like a year and a half in total because production kept starting and stopping. So we were away from each other for a very long time. And, it was kind of like, for me, I was like trying to find who I was. I was like, well, what do I do now? Like, music is more than a career for the both of us. And in that time, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use it as therapy right now. And then there were so many songs that just kept building up and building up. And, I was finding myself. There was even a moment where I was kind of in a dark place and music really saved me. And, then I looked at my computer. I'm like, oh, I have all of these songs. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And then we were able, honestly, the pandemic is so hard for all of us, but the positive thing that I can see out of it was that my sister got to come back home. So then when she got to come back home, we got to be together and we got to promote our album Ungodly Hour through a pandemic
Amazing.
virtually in our on our tennis court. That
Yeah,
was
all your
really
concerts from your
fun.
tennis court. I was going to ask you, is there something from Rosie Lane that you wish you could bring with you into your lives today? But you keep referencing so much of it, like your faith that you got from your family and your love of music and each other. I mean, you're really so lucky that you've been able to bring your best friend from Rosie
Yeah.
Lane with you along
Yeah.
through life. Okay, I just have one last question for you, which is, people have this joke. I figure I have to do this if I'm going to ask people about the street they grew up on, that people say your kind of sexy alter ego name. Your first name is your first pet, and your last name is the street you grew up on. So, what is your sexy alter ego name if you do your first
We
pet?
would have the
It's your
same
pet, and then the last
of the street.
Yeah.
Max Rosie.
Oh, I like Max
Max
Rosie.
Rosie.
Yeah, ours would be Max Rosie.
Who was Max?
Our
Our
baby
little
bunny.
bunny rabbit.
Oh, so cute.
Rest in peace, Max.
Oh, sweet Max. I love it. That's a good one. I know that you have such extraordinary futures ahead of you, but you really have already ascended to be such heroes in your own stories. And so to
Thank
hear where
you.
your story begins is really inspiring.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
for inspiring us and just being the force that you are. We just absolutely adore you. So thank you.
For more information about Black-led brands, products, and my memoir, Thicker Than Water, visit walmart.com/blackandunlimited. Okay, so that was amazing. I am an only child, but they make me want a sister. They make me really, really, really want a sister. So beautiful, their relationship. And they're just such gorgeous human beings inside and out. So talented, so generous. And I really love hearing about where all of that started. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to a little bit about these amazing people and the streets that they grew up on. Let us know whose story you might want to hear next, who you're interested in us having on the series. And also, please don't be afraid to like the videos, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and then you'll get a notification whenever we have some exciting news to share.